For majority of people, sleep gives the same benefit as samadhi gives to yogis. Because during sleep, mind and senses, they are all withdrawn, brought close to the divine self within you, with a little layer of blanket separating them. And therefore, when they emerge out of that, after that experience, your mind and senses come back, facing the world with new energy. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 6, known as Adhyatma Yoga. The focus is on yoga of meditation. Presently, verse number 15. Lord Krishna has given insight into all that is important for an aspirant to gain insight into practice of meditation. And to give you just a review of it, in order to practice sadhana, spiritual discipline called sadhana, Sanskrit words have great subtle implications. In the beginning, you try to control your mind and senses. And you adopt two methods. Starve them, just put away from you. Or use your senses very restrictedly. When you are under the grip of the lower self, that's what becomes practical. Say, for example, you lose your temper completely, then first thing, get away from that atmosphere that causes temper. Take a ticket, plane ticket, go somewhere. Or you be in that atmosphere, but keep yourself limited in your words, limited in your actions. Come with the idea, I will talk only 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Both methods are means to an end. That's not your goal. Goal is to become so adept that no matter how the situation is, the tongue is within your mouth, so all your thoughts are within your mind. So you establish complete control, a dignified state of consciousness. The Hindi statement is Siddh gaya. Certain things you are doing and it will become a part of it. And therefore, that movement that allows you to develop that perfection called sadhana. Sadh gaya is the word. That detail you may not have to go through it. So therefore, practice of yoga, if you are following in proper order, foundational practice is yama and niyama. Ahimsa, satyam, brahmacharya. Not to hurt anybody. Be sincere, truthful. Develop the art of gaining purity in your mind. Brahmacharya is not just, generally they are emphasized, sex restraint and sex-based purity. But that's a very limited meaning. It simply means, profoundly it means, you must understand you are not the body. Therefore, sexes are superficial aspect of your reality. Through many embodiments, you have been males many times, females many times, and you have been always mixed up. So, developing a mind that is not constantly obsessed by that idea, I am a male or I am a female. In order to attain that, you must be free of all the malos. So, kama, that's desire, perverted desires, krodha, anger, lobha, greed, moha, delusion, infatuation, mada, pride, matsarya, jealousy. These are the highlighted malas. I'm doing Gada Parinyaya. I've said those things, but I'm saying them again. So whenever we say brahmacharya, it is not centered on only one point, centered on all these malas. Your mind becomes constantly angry and irritated. And then you show how pure am I. That purity is very little. If ego grips your mind and you're very conceited, you are not pure. So all the malas have to become transformed in sadhana. Yama and niyama are meant to keep your view, keep your mind focused on that basic requirement. You do not become perfect, but the requirement must be understood always. If on the basis of these yamas and niyamas, you practice asana, pranayam, pratyahar. Asana, controlling your body. Pranayam, you are controlling your vital forces. Pratyahar, you are controlling your senses. All this now allows you to utilize your energy in a highly concentrated fashion. They allow you also to awaken your potential energy that you don't know about. If you don't have yama and niyama, you are awakening a demon in you. You will be doing the same asana, same pranayama, same pratyahar. But if yama and niyama is not in your focus, then the mental energy is awakened, but its direction is not in a positive way. Just awakening mental energy is not the purpose of yoga. There lies a big subtle understanding must develop. Otherwise, people meet together and ask, how long do you meditate? I meditate for 6 hours. Oh, I meditate only for 15 minutes. You are so advanced. Don't be fooled by that. Watch in action. If humility is not developing, If mind is gripped by little-mindedness, narrow-mindedness, if a heart is very close, then you are not moving in the right direction. But you must also understand, as you commence your practice, you are always like a child, doing errors and correcting them. So as you move and you go on discovering with the help of satsanga that what I am doing, am I really pursuing the path? And with listening, reflection, you begin to also develop understanding behind what you are doing. If yama niyama continues to be your foundation, you are progressing in a profound way. If yama niyama are not your foundation, you are still a practitioner of yoga, but in a wrong way. Having subdued his mind, the yogi constantly applies his mind to the self. Once you started following yoga sadhana, just to conclude on that, as I have begun, there are two levels of your sadhana. Yama, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, that's external. Dharana, dhyana and samadhi, internal. External, internal. Bahiranga, antaranga. External means it relates to your body and your vital forces, etc. And internal replies, it relates to your mind. In both stages, you continue to progress. And if you are progressing in a direct way, a sense of profound joy develops whenever you think of God. And that becomes possible when you begin to enter into meditation. Meditation begins to show to you that there is a type of joy that you don't find anywhere in the world. And it emerges out of yourself, God within you. The moment you taste that joy, there is anurag. You develop attachment to it. You want to have more. And the more you get it, the more you want it. And it follows without break. Sa paranurakti Ishware. Bhakti has been defined by sages. It's increasing attachment to God. This doesn't apply to objects of the world. When I mean objects, all relations, all human beings people are lovable, you love them and feel tremendous joy. But it is subject to waxing and waning, subject to raga dvesha. Love begins to diminish and raga begins to increase. Love diminishing, raga means the idea I must possess the object that I am in love with. I must secure the object, the sense of securing it and feeling a sense of dependence upon it, that's called raga. Then raga becomes like a smoke. Love is like fire. The fire becomes completely enfolded by smoke. That's the predicament of love in the world, where you don't recognize God. But when you begin to recognize it's God who is being loved through all personalities, the very heart of yours that brings out sentiment of love, that emanates from God within you. And as you direct that love towards others, you are actually loving God in others without knowing it. So once your mind begins to develop that taste, all your experiences in the world become highly enriched. That's the definition of profound culture. Society will flourish in the most profound way when parents were to recognize their children are different expressions of God. They are loving God in them. And parents, they love, in their mutual love, they are loving God in each other, allowing each other to develop divine qualities with a generous heart. In that process, the warmth of love that you experience is beyond your imagination. Otherwise, if your love is based upon how much money you have, if you die, how much will you will to your son, daughter, whomsoever, and many other. I'm just giving crude illustration. But that's the type of experience of love people have. And since you remember how much you have been depending on a person, so I love that person so much, you can't live without that person. Not because of joy of love, but because of how much you have depended. I don't know what you will do. Therefore, anurag doesn't exist in Vishaya Prem, in ordinary love. Love doesn't go on growing. Love starts flickering, but then it becomes smoky. And then it emanates some type of a stinky aroma. And it continues. People live together with big confusion within themselves. Years pass by and then suddenly they break their relations. All that goes on in the world. And still people count their progress. Oh, in spite of all that, he's a millionaire. He's a billionaire. What a great progress. All that is just vanity of vanities. The qualitative experience of love is a tremendous success in your life. And that type of experience is breaking down veils of illusion. So much so, no matter how difficult a person may seem to be, you break the layers of illusion. You recognize there is the same soul that could have been your son, could have been your daughter, could have been yourself, that is expressing in different personalities, even animals and birds. I'm just putting you in a very high level. Siya Ram Mai Sab Jag Jani, the entire world is different expressions of Sita and Ram. That's being the goal. And even though you may move inch by inch, little by little, as long as that goal is in view, you will go on experiencing increasing joy of spiritual love. And that will not wane, it will wax and wax until you are enfolded by wax. This type of love is called priti. Love that flows on. Another name for, most popular name for this love is bhakti, devotion. The practitioner of yoga must gain that insight into this movement of experiencing divine love in the heart, watching it to blossom, seeing that express in your activity. Your action will become generous, magnanimous. Your thoughts will be inspiring. Your words will carry the aroma of your inner joy. Niyatamanasa. The mind is under control in a yogi. Not just during meditation, but at all times. The beginner has that idea that I have set a time for my meditation. During that time, I will not be angry. I will not think of evil of anybody, etc. During the time, I will control my mind. Perfectly okay, bravo. But your goal is continue that even when you are dealing with others and you are handling your day-to-day activities in all situations. Such a person attains peace in me. If you find peace in objects of the world, peace in a particular situation, peace in a particular circumstance, you have not found peace. The peace will go to pieces. Because everything changes. The biblical statement, Jesus. Birds have nests in the air. Foxes have holes. But the Son of God has no place to lay his head upon. If you don't understand profoundly, this statement is what a tragedy. But that applies to everyone when you start thinking of it. Can you lay your head upon? Can you really feel, oh, this is all I wanted? You may develop that illusion, but pass it on. All situations, all conditions, from your birth to death, and even after, all situations and conditions your soul acquires are transient. When will it rest? When the soul were to discover, intuitionally develop the experience, I am, that am I. Always understand your soul is like a reflected sun. When will the reflected sun attain perfect rest? Not by moving from one bucket to another, but getting away from buckets, getting away from all time, space limitations, discovering, you are not attaining anything, discovering, I am the sun. And that reality is always there. You don't really attain in perfect practice of yoga. You are simply uniting yourself with God. And that term uniting is a figurative word. Who is there to unite with whom? When a reflected sun starts with this project, may I become united with the sun. All that project will be only through a mental imagination. All that is a magic of the mind. Once the mind moves away, there's nothing but the sun. The reflected state didn't exist. Your soul didn't exist ever separated from Brahman. Your mind takes you away from yourself. And you have a little glimpse of that in deep sleep. No matter whatever situations you might have been, the moment you enter into deep sleep, you have moved away from your mind, from your intellect, from your ego. You slipped away in such a way that you had no problem how to sleep. And you don't miss them at all. This has been the subtle blessing that goes with every individual. The highest truth is presented to you day by day without your knowing it. That you are. The best of your rest comes in deep sleep. When you are stripped of your body, mind, intellect, ego. On the other hand, when you start imagining, in order to attain the highest samadhi, I have to be stripped of the body, mind, intellect, the whole world. Jagat mithya. I have to understand the world is illusion. I have to drive away from my mind everything I love. God is so jealous. If you start creating that, it becomes such a big problem to move towards God realization. But if you could understand, how did you enter into deep sleep? How softly? God realization is million times softer and million times more peaceful than that. It is not something you are going to acquire. It's something that you attain out of repose, profound surrender and relaxation. But in order to attain that level of surrender, that's where all the sadhana is prescribed. The practice of meditation, yoga, antaranga sadhana, bahiranga sadhana, internal, external time. The statement is that mat sanstham adhigacchati. He attains peace in me, not in any object of the world. And that peace is nirvana paramam, is a nirvana, the flame of craving that keeps the soul constantly busy. That flame is extinguished forever. Not crudely. That flame is extinguished because you have discovered absolute contentment, absolute satisfaction. All your desires have been fulfilled in a dynamic way. Not a single desire left. And thereby, the flame of craving has become extinguished forever. That's what you attain. In 16th verse, Natyasnastastu yogosti nachaikanta manasnata nachati swapna shilasya jagrato naivacharjuna. O Arjuna, Yoga cannot be attained by one who eats too much, nor by one who doesn't eat at all. It is not for one who sleeps too much, nor for one who doesn't sleep at all. This is, you can take it literally. Even to maintain your health in a normal way, you have to avoid these two extremes, eating too much and not eating at all. That you'll hear the doctor to tell you, medical doctor will tell you why you shouldn't. But coming to more subtler point, harmony has to be brought into your life. This is brought out in the episodes of Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha started practicing intense austerity. He became emaciated, and at that time, divine beings created a drama to bring him to the right path. 3 musicians passed by with veena in their hand, and they were singing. Tune your veena, not too tight. The strings will break. The other one says, tune your veena, not too loose. The music will not flow. Third one said, tune it, neither too tight nor too loose, and the melody will flow. That becomes the mantra for successful sadhana. And that should be kept day by day. Sadhana should be planned in such a way that your mind should not say, I've been practicing so much. But rather your mind should have only one impression, I've been living a wonderful life. And I will gain more and more. Sense of enrichment, sense of fulfillment should grow on day by day. And do not count upon your fulfillment on the basis of external happenings. Adversity, prosperity, they both will come and go. If they don't do, your life becomes boring. And that again, God has also created a drama for it. Everyone has to live through day and night. You enjoy the day, and then you have to also enjoy the night. And both are supplementary and complementary to each other. If adversity is not there, we will not allow your inner faculties to be awakened. If only prosperity is there, you will become a shell, what we call a snail. No? Those fishes that are jellyfish. And therefore, art of eating with proper insight. I'm not touching that subject. Eating also means all types of intake. Ahar shuddha, sattva shuddhi. Whatever you listen through your ears, that's food for your ears. Thoughts are food for your mind, food for thought. So all your associations around you, they become food. And you need to have a subtle sensitivity, how much you can be involved in objects of the world, with the understanding you want to completely shun them, that won't be successful. Or if you want to become completely indulgent, that also will be to your detriment. Coming to the term sleep, art of sleeping is extremely important for all aspirants and for all people in the world. Whoever wants to enjoy success, good health. And therefore, if your life allows you to have proper timing, keep proper time for when you go to sleep, when you wake up. And do not try ordinary mathematics. That means I need 7 hours of sleep. Then one night I will be sleep 2 hours. During the day I will complete it by sleeping 5 hours. Mathematically is correct. 2 plus 1, 5, 7. But you are not getting the benefit of sleep. Even during the night, if you keep yourself stressed or doing something in the early stage, thinking that I will have time enough to sleep after 2 o'clock in the night. The later sleep is debilitating. The earlier sleep is enriching. Both have different value. Therefore, living your lifestyle in such a way that it becomes normal for you to choose a particular time, keep times for when to go to sleep, when to wake up. Ups and downs will come to every human being, but if you have maintained a style, you are gaining something very profound. And day to day your energy will be utilized in a much better way. Good sleep refreshes your mind. For majority of people, sleep gives the same benefit as samadhi gives to yogis. Because during sleep, mind and senses, they are all withdrawn, brought close to the divine self within you, with a little layer blanket separating them. And therefore, when they emerge out of that, after that experience, your mind and senses come back, facing the world with new energy, charged. Day by day, your battery is charged by sleep. And that also gives you a subtle insight that likewise, if you know the art of meditation, you are going to the same state of sleep in a positive way. You allow your mind to relax without going into the bed, without putting the blanket on your nose. And you can feel that sense of relaxation all the time if you advance. But when you practice meditation, you develop that understanding. Allow a conscious awareness of withdrawing the senses. Turtles have that way, they withdraw their limbs and getting deeper into a state of pratyahar. Senses are withdrawn. Pratyahar level is transcended by going into your mind itself is withdrawn. Senses, mind, intellect, ego, all are withdrawn. Withdrawn term again is allegorical. All begin to melt away. And there is nothing but Brahman, nothing but the divine self. But that's the goal. the ideal of profound meditation. But even though that ideal may not be easily attained, to whatever degree you can withdraw your mind, your senses, and stay relaxed as if enfolded by God's love, to whatever degree, that will recharge you in a profound way. And that you can't imagine. Touch of God within you has a tremendous power. I will conclude at this stage. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.